organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Scholar Search, how the University of Iowa finds star-studded guests.
Plus, Crass Grassley, Iowans protest the senator's Supreme Court comments.
Record wet, the state of Iowa set a new bar for precipitation in the winter months.
2 Iowa teams are ready to take on the Big Ten. Stay tuned to find out which teams are headed to their Big Ten tournaments.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Maria Palladino. For professors at research schools like the UI, teaching is just the tip of the iceberg. Ryan Scott explores what happens below the surface and why professors' packed schedules are a plus for students.
What makes University of Iowa professors different from professors at other universities? The University of Iowa is primarily a research institution in which professors work essentially 2 jobs, as instructors for students and as researchers furthering the knowledge of their field. I spoke with Professor Kimbru McLeod to find out more.
So not only am I at a research university where I'm expected to produce knowledge or whatever, books, documentaries, that's what I do, I'm also, just as importantly, a teacher.
A typical University of Iowa professor teaches 2 courses a semester on top of their research, and Professor McLeod explains the benefits of this for his students.
They're exposed to professors who are experts in their field, whether they're experts in the fields of biology or engineering or communication, or more specifically the music industry, which I have a deep knowledge of.
Some professors prefer the quietness of home to get their research done. However, with 2 kids running around, Professor McLeod prefers to do most of his research here at his office located at 131 Becker Communications Building. Reporting from the Becker Communications Building, Ryan Scott, Daily Iowan TV.
Starting next fall, expect to see some young Hawkeyes studying on campus. The UI will launch an early entrance college program for students having completed their sophomore year of high school. Nicholas Colangelo, the Dean of UI College of Education, said the purpose of the academy is to give gifted students a head start. The academy plans on enrolling 12 to 20 students for the first year.
There have been plenty of famous faces on the UI campus this school year, and it hasn't been by accident. Sydney Zatz gives you a look at how the university finds its distinguished guests.
The University of Iowa Campus Activities Board has brought a great number of celebrities to campus. I talked with some CAB leaders to find out how it happens.
We often look around to different talent and booking agencies to what they have offered at the time. Different celebrities are offered different times.
Communication is key when it comes to planning a big event. CAB is able to get contact information for artists at the national conference, but sometimes it's not Iowa who reaches out to the artists.
Sometimes we get reach out to from different people who are on tour and want to come.
We often hear some celebrities will tell their other friends about us. So we've had Retta from Parks and Recreations, and she heard about Iowa through Aziz Ansari, who's here a few years ago, and then her friend Nick Swartzen, who was also in Parks and Recreation, also heard about Iowa City and came here for a show last summer at the Engler.
Takes a lot of planning to get an entertainer here on campus. You have to reach out to agents, managers, other groups on campus to see who wants to get involved. Matt Belisali, star of BuzzFeed's Whying About It, will be here in April, and Kay Vaughn from Last Comic Standing will be here March 8th. To find out more about events coming up, go to the Campus Activities Board website. Reporting from the Iowa Memorial Union, Sydney Zatz.
Police are investigating after a 16-year-old boy was shot to death Wednesday. The boy is a high school student from Burlington, Iowa, but his name has not yet been released. Neighbors reported hearing gunshots a little before noon, and officers found the boy's body behind a garage. So far, there are no suspects, and the investigation is still underway.
Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley's mailbox is full. On Thursday, Grassley received over 42,000 signatures in protests over his recent comments on the vacant Supreme Court seat. Why Court Matters Iowa is the group representing a coalition who gathered signatures. The group presented their work with excerpts from the U.S. Constitution. Grassley is the chairman of the Senate's Judiciary Committee, and last week said his committee will not discuss filing the seat left by the late Justice Antonin Scalia, who passed away last month. Through a spokesperson, Grassley said he appreciated his constituents' efforts and assured them he has his own copy of the Constitution.
Unfortunately, Maria, when I walked outside of my apartment, I saw snow everywhere.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, but hopefully it'll get warmer. But let's toss it over to Zhao Li for more in the weather studio. Zhao?
Iowa is now experiencing the wettest winter in the past 101 years. State climatologist Harry Hughlaker says December 2015's record rain combined with snow in the last 3 months equaled over 6.5 inches of precipitation, which is nearly double the season normal. Hughlaker also says December through February's temperature averaged 26.8 degrees, which is nearly 5 degrees above the normal. Let's take a look back in Iowa City. We'll stay in the mid-30 range finishing up this week, but the good news is that we can expect some pretty warm temperatures next week. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather, it's going to be cloudy in the morning with a temperature of 27 degrees. Moving into the afternoon, the temperature will rise slowly into 42 degrees, and later in the night, the temperature will drop down to 38 degrees with 80% chance of rain. Taking a look at our 6 days extended forecast. Saturday, we'll see a clear sky with a high of 43 and a low of 29. Sunday, the temps will jump up about 10 degrees. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will all be gloomy, rainy days with temperatures hovering in the mid-50 range. Thank you, and back to you guys at the desk.
American astronaut Scott Kelly is home in Houston after spending nearly a year in space. Kelly's boots landed on the ground in Kazakhstan Tuesday, following 340 days floating in the International Space Station. He spent the year working towards future voyages to Mars, and NASA is hoping to deploy a 2.5-year expedition to the Red Planet in the 2030s. After 2 days of tests and weather delays, Kelly returned to American soil Thursday, promptly plunging into his backyard pool. His trip set the record for the longest stint for an American astronaut in space.
Florida is overhauling the death penalty after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the state's current sentencing law was unconstitutional. The Florida legislature sent Governor Rick Scott a bill that requires at least 10 out of 12 jurors in a capital case to agree on a death sentence before. Only the majority of jurors could recommend a death sentence.
Well, it looks like the men's wrestling team has a huge weekend ahead of them, right, Cole?
Yep, definitely. And women's already in Indy for the Big Ten basketball tournament. For more on that, let's toss it over to the sports studio. Ladies?
Thanks, guys. As winter's winding down, so are winter sports.
That's right, Katie, and that means it's tournament time. While the men's basketball team starts their tournament next week, the women's is already underway in Indianapolis.
The Iowa women's basketball team took on the University of Michigan in their first game of the tournament, and it was a tight matchup down the stretch, but head coach Lisa Bluter and her squad stepped it up in the final minutes of the game. Holly Reimer was courtside in Indy to see the Hawks' first tournament victory. Holly?
Thanks, guys. Here at the women's Big Ten basketball tournament, the University of Iowa faced off against number 8 University of Michigan. This is the third time the two teams have met, and previous to this game, it was split for wins 1-1. Today in Indianapolis, the University of Iowa pulled out the W for their second win against the team.
We felt like we'd owed Michigan, especially, losing to them at their place. We wanted to get them back again.
Gameplay was fast-paced in this contest, and by the end of the first quarter, Michigan was leading Iowa by 8 points. It wasn't until the second quarter that Iowa pulled ahead, scoring 31 points, making for a total of 52 points in the first half.
We just did a great job of moving the ball and taking what they were giving us. I don't think we forced many shots at all. When they were extending on our three-point shooters, we got the ball inside, and when they were sagging, we hit those threes. So it was really just a fun game to play in.
The third quarter was Iowa's lowest scoring quarter of the game, and it heated up as the team moved into the fourth quarter just 8 points ahead of the University of Michigan. But after a series of steals and sunken shots, the University of Iowa was able to maintain their lead until the very end for a final score of 97-85. Freshman Megan Gustafson led the team in scores with a total of 25 points. The University of Iowa will advance to the next round in tournament play against number 1 ranked Maryland Friday at noon Eastern Time.
the way we played today, we can beat anybody in this tournament, and I'm really excited, and I think that we're going to bring it for sure.
From Bankers Life Fieldhouse, I'm Holly Reimer. Back to you guys in Iowa City.
Thanks, Holly. Friday's matchup will be the Terrapins' first game of the Big Ten tournament and the second Iowa-Maryland matchup of the season.
And we just got word this afternoon that Allie Disterhoff, who's a part of that Iowa women's team, and men's basketball player Jared Utoff earned Academic All-Americans of the Year, which is the first time a school has ever swept both of those national honors. And while this tournament is taking place in Indianapolis, another Iowa team begins their Big Ten championship a little closer to home this weekend.
That's right, Taylor. Iowa wrestling stays right here in Iowa City, hosting the 2016 Big Ten championship at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Hawkeyes tied Ohio State for the 2015 Big Ten team title, but are vying for their first outright team championship in the last 6 years. Wrestling reporter Zach Mackey has more.
The last and final time that the four seniors in the lineup will step on the mat will be this weekend for the Big Ten Championships. These seniors have kept a level of excellency that is expected with Iowa wrestling, but there is one thing that they still hope to accomplish.
It's a big deal being an individual champion. It's a catapult to what's next, and it's a title that defines their career. We talk about the Midlands, we talk about the Big Tens, and we talk about the national championship. And, they're gearing up for it. That's what they're gearing for right now. This is it for this weekend.
Over the years, there have been 109 Hawkeyes that have won Big Ten championships. But on this year's lineup, there is yet to be a wrestler who has won a Big Ten individual title, although they are all vying to see their names up on the board next year.
Everyone wants their name on the wall. They want to be remembered. But, winning this, you qualify for the big tournament, probably #1 seed if you win this.
I mean, it means a lot. It means that I'm going in the right direction. The ultimate goal is a national title, and a Big Ten title's second to that.
And for some, it would mean even more to the people sitting in the stands than for themselves.
For me personally, I don't know how much it'd mean to me, but for my fans here at Carver and my family, I think it'd mean a lot.
Wrestling starts up on Saturday with the doors opening at 8:30. The matches will start up at 10. And then session 2, the doors open at 4:30 with the matches starting at 6. And it all leads up to the finals at 3:10 on Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Zach Mackey.
Last year, one Iowa All-American fell short against Ohio State for the individual Big Ten title. Wrestling reporter Laura Belanda dug deeper into the mindset of this junior leader.
I didn't score any offensive points in that finals match. I got an escape, a stall point, and he got a takedown. That was the difference, was 2 points.
Taking a loss last year to Nathan Tomasalo in the championship bout without scoring any offensive points definitely isn't what we've seen from the undefeated Gilman this season.
I used last year as teaching tool, and not so much motivation, though, because that's the wrong kind of motivation. You want internal motivation, internal drive.
Gilman is seated second behind Tomasalo going into the tournament in Carver Hawkeye Arena. And though the championship title could be described as
It's a big deal being an individual champion. It's a catapult to what's next, and it's a title that defines their career.
Gilman sees it a little bit differently.
For me personally, I don't know how much it'd mean to me, but for my fans here at Carver and my family, I think it'd mean a lot.
The 125-pound junior, undefeated, returning All-American, will approach the 2016 Big Ten tournament the way he would any other competition, with a fiery competitive edge and one match at a time.
Don't make a mistake. These guys aren't coming out here to lay down. They're coming to Carver Hawkeye Arena to take my livelihood away from me. Everything's at risk now. So I gotta be prepared for these guys. And when I get to Nako Matalouis and when I get to Tomasalo, I'll be ready. But I'm not looking forward.
Laura Belanda, Daily Iowan, TV Sports.
With Gilman seated second in the tournament and Ohio State's Nathan Tomasalo first, it's definitely going to be a crucial match if those two face off in the finals.
We'll update you on both wrestling and women's basketball Big Ten tournaments in Sunday evening's show.
Until then, that's all from the sports studio. Cole and Maria, back to you.
That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check our website out, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Maria Palladino. Have a good night.